As of recording this, yesterday, Chris Buescher got his third career NASCAR Cup Series win, and in doing so, locked himself into the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs. And many may see this as a shock or a surprise, but I honestly think that the rise of Chris Buescher has been one of the more fun driver careers to watch through the years, because it's clear that the talent was there, but it just needed the proper setting to flourish. So today we're going to look at his journey from ARCA all the way up to the top levels of the Cup Series. Buescher started racing in ARCA at the age of 16 in 2009. He was one of the Roush development program drivers and would be taken under the wing of none other than Roush driver David Reagan. From 2010 to 2013, he would score 10 ARCA wins, and this would start laying the foundation for what would become his Cup Series career one day. In 2011, he came so close to a championship, finishing second in points behind champion Ty Dillon. And in 2012, he would win the ARCA championship over ARCA legend Frank Kimmel, as well as young drivers like Brennan Poole and Alex Bowman. Buescher wouldn't go up to the Truck Series, but instead the Xfinity Series in 2011 for a little bit and 2013. He would drive the number 16 car for Roush, and in those two separate years combined, did get 2 top 10s in only a few starts. So in 2014, he would go full-time. He'd run top 10 in points for most of the year, finishing 7th, and running around there for the most part, generally staying consistent. And at Mid-Ohio, he would finally break through and get an Xfinity win. But this kind of accomplishment would pale in comparison to what was to come in his career. And only a year later in 2015, he would become a true title contender, never going lower than second in the points all year and leading the points for most of the year with multiple wins and beating out the likes of Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon, and Regan Smith for the 2015 NASCAR Xfinity Series title.
His dreams are going to come true. Chris Buescher will win the title for the Xfinity Series.
He did it. Oh, nice job, guys. Nice job. That is a little awesome. Thank you, guys.
It was clear that Buescher had talent, and he had the talent to run in the Cup Series. In 2015, he would run 6 races for Front Row Motorsports number 34 car, which in 2016, he would take over full-time. Now, Front Row at this point was not where it is today as a playoff contender, but instead as a fringe top 30 team, maybe. And he ran sub-30th for most of the season, and probably in 2016, at least for the first half, was remembered most for this incident at Talladega.
Boy, Chris Buescher flips down the back straightaway.
That 46 hard into that safer barrier, driver's side.
Yeah, the 46 of Annette actually made contact with the 34 car, and that's what sent him spinning up into the air and flipping over and over. And then he went down, the 46 of Annette went down, made heavy contact with that inside wall, even though they're...
But all of this changed at Pocono as the racing gods looked down favorably on Buescher, as there was a rain-delayed Monday race. And on that Monday, many drivers knew that this race probably wasn't going to get all the way finished. Rain was in the forecast, and there was a ton being picked up on the radar. But that ton of green on the radar wasn't actually a bunch of rain, but instead a ton of fog. And fog would soon envelop the racetrack, covering the racetrack to the point that half of it was invisible to the spotters as they couldn't see, and NASCAR, due to safety, had to call the caution. The fog they were expecting would roll out, but instead it just parked over the track to the point that Buescher would end up getting the win, making the playoffs, and due to having a lower tier team, did finish 16th, but still made the playoffs with this win. In 2017, he would move over for what would be a 3-year stint at JTG. Roush sold their charter for the number 16 car to JTG, and Buescher, being a Ford and Roush development driver, would be coming along with the deal. And 2017, in all honesty, really didn't have too much to write home about. He was about as invisible of a driver as you can get. In 2018, he did get a top 5 in the Daytona 500, but no finish was higher than 12th outside of any super speedway races. It was 2019 when you started to see a few flashes from Buescher. He would score back-to-back top 10s, 10th at Kansas and then 6th in the next points race at the Coke 600. And he hovered around the 20th place position in the points for most of the regular season and ended up finishing 20th in the standings at year's end. But 2020 would mark another change for Buescher. Starting in the 2020 season, he would be back over to Roush in the number 17 car, replacing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And it started off pretty well finish-wise, finishing 3rd in the Daytona 500, though I'm pretty sure we don't remember Buescher for finishing 3rd in the Daytona 500 that year. Realistically, he fought much of the regular season near the cut line. Not too great, but ended up getting 2 top 5s and 8 top 10s with a 21st place points finish, even with a penalty added into that. In 2021, he became an actual playoff contender with Roush Fenway. He actually won a stage at Miami, which was mighty impressive, ranked top 20 in points all regular season, and finished 19th in the final standings with a top 5 at the Roval and 8 top 10s total on the year. 2022 would see another change in Buescher's career, but possibly one that might be the last big change for a long time. You see, Roush Fenway Racing had been rebranded to RFK Racing because Brad Keselowski was coming over as a partial owner of the team. And the team overall, including Buescher, did regress. He did have highlights. He finished 2nd at Sonoma and was notably faster, but there were only 2 moments that really rise to anyone's minds when it comes to Buescher in 2022.
You see Suarez come up, just wasn't clear, caught the 14, gets sideways, and here comes the impact. Hard hit. You see him spinning.
And just didn't have enough room.
See that right front wheel dug underneath the car, and that's what dug in and caused it to start flipping. Violent.
2 more turns of the Bass Pro Shops night race. Chris Buescher will win his 2nd Cup Series race, and it happens in Bristol.
Still, he got a win, 3 top 5s and 10 top 10s, and heading into 2023, he was definitely a sleeper pick to make the playoffs and run better. He started out a bit slow, but as the season has went on, he got more and more consistent and has been over 100 points above the playoff cut line, easily being able to make it in off of the points. But that won't be necessary anymore, thanks to what happened at Richmond.
Down the backstretch for the final time, the 30-year-old from Prosper, Texas, which, by the way, has a population of 30,000, is going to win in front of more here in Richmond. Buescher wins at the short track.
And with that, we are back to the present. And the future for this driver in the present looks mighty bright, as he's only 30 years old and only has upside to go with a team that seems to be growing around him. But now I'm going to pass this on to you and ask, what do you think of Chris Buescher? Do you think he's going to become a Martin Truex-like driver one day who starts his career a bit slower but ends up really fast? Or do you think that it's just going to be incremental over time? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.